If you're tuned into the video, you're obviously here because you're still getting knocked out and submitted in UFC 5. In this video, I'll take you through the top 5 reasons why you still suck. Now, number 1 is more of a prerequisite. It's understanding the controls and mechanics of the game. If you guys do already understand the mechanics of the game, feel free to skip to the next one. I do feel there is a need to talk about this, as there will be some people that just have no idea about certain mechanics and how they work. Now, when I talk about mechanics, I'm talking about striking, grappling, and defending. So it could be defending transitions, takedowns, and so on. I do highly recommend you guys to go into practice mode and practice these mechanics, as you won't really be able to learn them well in quick matches, because oftentimes in quick matches, your opponent might try to do something different. So if you're trying to upskill your standing defense or offense, your opponent might be going for takedowns and so on. So I do recommend practice mode. You can do this by going into learn, then selecting practice mode. Now, when you're in practice mode, you've got an option between ground game, defense, and striking and so on. So there's a whole bunch of options, and you've got basic and advanced versions of these. I do recommend going through these if you are new to the game or just are lacking in any particular area, as this is the main thing that'll help improve your game out of all the things that I'm going to talk about in here if you don't already have the mechanics down. So I do highly recommend this. I'll just give a quick rundown of what I would normally do when I first started playing this. So I'll just go to inert just for the example. Put myself in. Might go lower division. So whoever. So what you do is you'd start up the game. Once you're in the game, you just press start and then go into game help, training manual, and then you can essentially view moves and defense to see how to do these things. And yeah, you could pretty much just practice them right here. So rather than having him inert, you could change it to like wrestling or striking, depending on what you want out of this. So yeah, just like so. The second thing you guys aren't doing is having a game plan. So this all starts with the fighter that you choose. Depending on the fighter, some are heavier on the boxing, some have better kicks, some have strengths with their ground and pound. In this case, I've chosen Nate, so I'm going to go heavy on the boxing, not do too many leg kicks, and use cardio and jiu-jitsu as a weapon. So in this match, I've gone with the game plan of just keeping heavy on the boxing. Now, this also does encompass knowing your opponent's strengths. So in this particular matchup, I know Leon's heavy on his kickboxing. So yeah, I presume it's going to be a boxing / kickboxing type of match. It's likely during the fight I'll need to make adjustments with throwing more feints, as he'll be doing a lot of kicking and that does have a longer reach. So managing distance will be one of the adjustments I might need to make in the game, and trying to get inside and keep it a close and dirty boxing match. The third thing that separates the good players from the bad players is patience. A lot of the times I see players getting anxious and just throwing to throw without purpose. Having patience, picking your shots, and waiting for your opponent to throw will allow you to get reads on your opponent and find openings for counter shots and allow you to enforce your game plan as you desire. Now, this game I do notice that MVP is heavy on his jab and lead hook. So I try to slip it a couple of times, but that doesn't go to plan. Eventually, my game plan of sticking to striking, keeping the boxing heavy with him, doesn't seem to be going to plan. So I proceed to start grappling with him. This takes us on to our fourth lesson, which is to be adaptable. In this match, I noticed that I'm not winning the striking exchanges. MVP is obviously a more fluent striker than Diaz, so I proceed to take this fight to the ground. There'll be plenty of times where the fight's just not going your way and you'll need to make adjustments, whether it's changing over your game plan completely, like I did here from a heavy boxing to just straight grappling matchup. So the lesson here is don't be one-dimensional and make sure you find the path of least resistance whenever you're fighting these types of matchups. In this matchup, by adapting to how the fight was going, knowing I'm not winning the striking exchanges, you can see I changed it to a grappling matchup as I mentioned before and win via triangle choke. In number 5, we've got managing distance. Now, this doesn't only encompass your fighter's reach, it encompasses that invisible barrier that you have between you and your opponent and whether you can land within that range. The only real way to get good at managing distance is through repetition. However, having in your mind that invisible barrier and whether your opponent's within that invisible barrier so you can hit them could open up a lot more opportunities to you getting knockdowns in your opponents or even doing significant damage. Here you'll see me get out of the way of Alex's front kick to the face, knowing that that invisible barrier is there. I hope these tips help you guys out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.